All right.
Already.
So, bam, let's have some fun. You are a product of DC
Hmm.
and you currently reside in Nashville, Tennessee, right? But you spend time in Cleveland, Ohio, in Jersey, PA. In Jersey, in PA, in Atlanta, in the DMV. So, since you have such a variety of life experiences in these cities, we are going to let you tell us who got it. Time for another round of
Okay,
who
who
got it.
got it?
All right.
Okay, already. Okay.
All right. So I hope you're ready for
Okay.
this one. All right, Van. So you're from
Hmm.
DC. You currently live in Nashville, but you also spent time in PA and Jersey, ATL in Florida. So we're gonna regionalize your segment since you lived in so many places. I usually do, 3 cities, but you've been lived in so many cities. We just gonna regionalize your
Okay.
segment.
Okay.
So welcome to the hip hop edition of Who Got It. We need to know who got it out of the DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South.
Okay. That's a good one. Yeah, because
DMV, Jersey,
yeah.
PA,
Uh-huh.
or the Dirty South.
Okay.
All right. Not everyone has been to the DMV. Not everyone watching has been to the Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South. So it's on you to educate the viewers out there tonight. So who got it? The DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South? Who got the best culture for indie artists?
Dirty South. Because I get way more opportunities in the Dirty South than I do in the DMV or Jersey, PA. And those are difficult markets to break into. I feel like in the Dirty South, you can find a venue to perform open mics, all that kind of things happen.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna pick Dirty South. Sorry, DMV.
The Dirty South heavily includes ATL,
And Nashville
you
and
know, but
Alabama.
Nashville for sure is part of it.
Yeah,
Alabama, Florida, a little bit in there,
I
Um,
they're more reception. They don't. You don't. It's not about your status as
mhm.
much. I feel just because there's a glass ceiling in DMV, and I've always fought the glass ceiling in PA and New Jersey, but I've never had to fight the glass ceiling in the Dirty South.
That's dope. So the Dirty South got is the best culture for
Indie
independent artists.
artists.
That's dope. And I would agree with that, even coming from California. Like,
Yeah.
California now, we had to do in the Bay Area, in my hometown of Vallejo, we had to build our own. Just like that's why people are respecting LaRussell because he's doing it definitely organically. But he got that from E40 and Mac Dre, Too
Mhm.
Short from Oakland.
Mhm.
Like, it all came out of that selling it out the trunk,
Selling out your
doing
truck,
it regionally, doing
hustle,
it,
grind.
on the block.
Mhm.
Yeah, so best culture for indie artists is Dirty South. All right, the next one. Who got it? DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South? Where is the best place to perform a live show?
Mm. Ooh. I gotta go with the DMV
All
because I'm
right.
a child of go go.
Go, go.
And one of my dreams is to be up there with a band and do a live show. And because I come from theater and all those things, we have some of the best concert halls with the best acoustics in my brain.
Mhm.
So a live show, a live show at the Lincoln Theater with a go-go band behind me would be a dream.
Very specific. I love that answer because it's so specific. I mean, you didn't just say, "Hey, it would be cool to perform in the DMV. I know people out there. I get support." I mean, you went down to the type of venues and concert
Yeah.
halls and the acoustics in the building. That's dope. I appreciate that response so much. Performing a live show, like it's not just about where you think you would get the most reception. You took it down to where the show would actually turn out the best
Mhm.
at.
And in DMV, when you go to shows, we talk back to you. You sing, hey, sing it, baby. They give you that. And that's why I think people like performing there because we coming, we back, we with you. We with you the whole ride.
Yeah.
And I just love that about my city. I love that about
So you heard her vision. She said, I want to be performing at, she named the specific venue.
that.
exactly with a live band playing behind her, like that's vision, and that's where somebody says, I would like this to come to pass. Well, that's a dream. Okay, well, let's work our life till we get to
Till we
that
get to
point,
that
because that's
point.
something I want to do one day.
Right.
So that's
Let's
what
get
this show is
there.
all
Yeah,
about, inspiration.
that would be a full circle moment because the first play I ever did was at the Lincoln Theater,
To do it again, a hip hop show, that's
and it'd be
dope.
about
That would
me.
be
I'm
dope.
on the marquee.
Yeah, yeah. All right, excuse me. All right, who got it? The DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South? Which area has the deepest hip hop culture all around?
Jersey, PA, hands down. My hip hop experience started there, and I can take it back down to the grassroots. People always say the Bronx and Queens, but for me, Jersey, PA. I'm I grew up, from Newark.
Hmm.
That hip hop is so everything there. We don't even there is no line. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's no here's the hip hop community. That's all it is.
Yeah,
So, gotta go with that. Gotta go. The
go with
history, the
Jer.
respect of
Yeah,
understanding the pillar. Like people still walk down the street preaching, the five elements of hip hop. You know what I'm
fine.
saying?
Yeah.
Gotta go with them.
That's I wouldn't I didn't know where you were gonna go with that, but because you could have, depending on who you're asking, but depending on their experience, it could have been ATL Dirty
Depending on
South,
where
it could have
you're.
been DMV. So definitely if New York was part of the question, people would probably
Say
might
that.
choose that, but Jersey, PA, there's a lot of artists, a lot of hip hop culture that comes from there. A lot of artists that come, and people don't even know. People lump New Jersey artists in with New York artists a
It's
lot,
different.
and a lot of
It's
times,
very different.
yeah.
It's different. And I feel like, especially with Jersey, PA, it's more of a renaissance of you know culture itself, because it's always been about the art, and it's not just about music. So when you
Hmm.
say hip hop culture, I'm thinking all of it, not just
Hmm.
music.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right, so the deepest hip hop culture all around goes to Jersey, PA.
Yeah.
All right, who got it? The DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South? Which area is the most fashionable?
Oh, DMV, hands down.
D-
Gotta say DMV. They be mad. I mean, I'm saying
Sorry, ATL, them white
sorry.
tees ain't cutting
But
it.
but if you go look at ATL, because I used to live in ATL, and this is why I'm going to say this.
Hmm.
I used to live in ATL, and I used to go to DC and buy clothes from the different Madness shops, because DC is very known for, we have our own independent fashion. We have
Hmm.
Madness, DDTP. If you're not from, you probably don't know what these things are, but our culture is built around wearing and fashion and clothes and the looks. And I saw a lot of people from DC would move to Atlanta and then bring our style, and then they changed it a
Hmm.
little bit, but it's still. And then growing up, especially in the 2000s, I just felt like all the new trends they would come out of the DMV, because
Hmm.
DMV is very specific in its fashion. you know,
Yeah.
Within the DMV, it's specific. Someone from Southeast doesn't dress like someone from Northwest, even
Hmm.
though the DMV is like this. You
They're still
know,
regionally, yeah.
like I can go home and be walking down the street and see a person. Oh, he's from Northeast, just by
Just by what they're
just by what
wearing.
they're wearing. hmm
Yeah. And
And
how they dress. That's dope.
and I still incorporate the DMV into my style of fashion now. Um, like
Hmm.
Parasuco jeans, we that came out with, now they call them the tight jeans that the girls are wearing, but we had those in the 80s.
Hmm.
We used to call them
Hmm.
Parasucos. You know, um, I remember when I got my first pair of 5411 Reeboks. They weren't on songs then, but now every girl wants some Reeboks.
Most were Reeboks.
And that
DMV was
DMV,
the
that
cultural
was
place
the
for
thing. Yeah, that was what you did. Your boyfriend would buy you a chain and some 5411s.
it.
You know?
Culture right there. I love those stories. That's dope. So, all right, the most fashionable
Mhm.
is the
Gotta
DMV.
give it the
All right,
V.
we all right, we got one more, but we got the best culture for indie arts. The best culture for indie arts was the Dirty South. The best place to perform a live show was the DMV. The deepest hip hop culture all around, Jersey, PA.
Hmm.
The most fashionable, DMV. So we got one more. Who got it? The DMV, Jersey, PA, or the Dirty South? Which area has the best overall music archive?
In hip hop or just overall?
Um, Overall, I mean, hip hop is heavily included in it, of course, but or if knowing the artists from these areas, knowing the iconic albums from these artists, you know, if you okay, put it this way, let me ask you it in a different way. You're on a deserted island by yourself for 1 year, and you can only bring albums from artists from one of these three areas. Which area you choose?
Dirty South. If you put it like that, Dirty South. Because I
All
could
right.
go in a record store and pull and collect a bunch of albums from Dirty South artists and get a little bit of everything. Even
Hmm.
if I stuck with hip hop. I could get some jazz hip hop. I could get some jazz and fusion. I could get some EDM. I could get some, you know, I think with the DMV especially, uh, our sound is specific. And I think with PA New Jersey, like when I thought about it in my brain, like what album would I go get if I had like 30 seconds to go in the record store and pull everything? I'm gonna get the Roots.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get
Hmm.
Lost Boys. But if I go in that same 30 seconds and I can only pull Dirty South, I'm getting a lot.
You gotta just grab a whole handful of albums,
Yeah, I could.
and you're gonna get a mixture.
I could go all the way down. And if we're including Houston and New Orleans and all those places, oh yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely gotta say
yeah.
Dirty. When it comes to timeless classics consistently over a 10-year basis, we gotta give it to the Dirty South.
There you go. That's dope, man. I thank you for participating in this episode
This is
of Who Got
so
It, Bam.
fun.
That was very challenging, but the best culture for indie artists went to the Dirty South. The
Yeah.
best place to perform a live show went to the DMV. The deepest hip hop culture all around went to Jersey, PA. The most fashionable went to the DMV, and the best music archive all around went to the Dirty South. That is Bam's hip hop edition list of Who Got
Got
It. So thank you for
it.
thank you for participating. That was fun. I enjoyed that. It was a little different than how I normally do it to
Those are
one
good
individual
questions,
city. So
though.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fun. I love doing that. I love doing that with my guest Bam. So that was fun. I enjoyed doing that with you. All right, so we're gonna get you out here on this one.